Shattered clearances, the cost of blind trust. A Stuttgart story of betrayal, reporting, and recovery. Welcome to our Stuttgart community messaging platform called the OPSEC Minute Extended. On Mondays, we use this space, in posted YouTube videos, to share both a little OPSEC, or Operation Security Wisdom, along with an occasional Marvel team-up bridge that ties into other regulatory security disciplines and policies. Please feel free to like, share with family or friends, or subscribe, and check out the video of this and other OPSEC Minute, extended stories on our YouTube I Secure Narratives channel. Simply let our stories capture your imagination as they play in the background while you tackle your morning routine and backlog of email. Now, enjoy this week's I Secure Narratives. Prologue: The Border of Betrayal. Rain slicked the autobahn into a ribbon of reflected light as a charcoal-gray Mercedes SUV glided toward the Dutch-German border near Venlo. Inside, Valerie Vance, age 31, composed and rehearsed down to the smallest gesture, tapped her manicured fingers against the wheel. Her confidence wasn't real. It was constructed, layered carefully over nerves that threatened to surface. 300 kilometers away in Stuttgart, her husband, Jesse, sat at his desk on Panzerkaserne, unaware that his life was about to fracture along lines he couldn't yet see. At the checkpoint, German Bundespolizei waved Valerie into inspection. She smiled, tight, controlled, and handed over a tourist passport and her U.S. Forces license. She did not present her sofa passport. Today, she was just another traveler. "Purpose of your trip?" the officer asked. "A weekend getaway," she replied smoothly. The Belgian Malinois didn't buy it. The dog barked, paws striking the rear of the SUV. Everything shifted. Step out of the vehicle. 45 minutes later, the Mercedes was stripped apart. 5 kilograms of MDMA, bottles of illicit narcotics, 4 credit cards, none in her name. 2 belonged to Jesse. Valerie's secret life detonated at the border. The shockwave was already racing toward Stuttgart. Act 1. The Illusion of Normalcy. 2 days earlier, Stuttgart basked in a mild, ordinary Tuesday. Jesse Vance, 34 years old, a former Army captain turned GS-12 analyst, sat outside the Galaxy Bowling Center, finishing lunch with 2 colleagues, J.B. Brooks, the Garrison OPSEC officer, and Arthur Blunt, an Information Management Office contract technician with a sharp tongue and sharper instincts. "You need to report it," J.B. said, lowering his burger. $50 grand doesn't just appear in your account." "It's not mine," Jesse replied, brushing it off. "Val's aunt passed away. Inheritance. Clean." Arthur leaned forward. Seed 3 and TARP, or should I say, now CIAR training, both tell this basic truth. Sudden wealth gets reported, especially when it's a person with your clearance. Jesse shrugged. "It's her money." JB exchanged a look with Arthur. "It becomes your problem when it hits your joint account. You're flagged if this looks off." Jesse nodded, but internally dismissed it. Valerie was thriving. She traveled, she worked online, she was happy, and he trusted her. Later that afternoon, Jesse delivered a flawless threat assessment briefing to senior leadership. Calm, precise, respected, he embodied reliability. His career trajectory was steep and steady. Everything looked solid. It wasn't. Act 2. The House of Cards collapses. Thursday morning, the sky hung low and gray over Patch Barracks. Jesse was reviewing classified material when his phone rang. "Come to the command suite," came the voice. No explanation. Inside the conference room stood a nightmare lineup. his security manager, senior leadership, and 2 Army counterintelligence agents in civilian suits. "Have a seat," Alonzo Edwards said. Jesse's pulse spiked. "Is this about Valerie? Is she okay?" "She's in custody," the provost marshal said flatly. "Arrested at the border. Narcotics trafficking." Jesse blinked. "No, she's in Baden-Baden." A folder slid across the table. Photos, equipment, ledgers, credit cards. "Your wife has been running an illicit enterprise," one agent said. "Content distribution, fraud, identity theft." Jesse stared. "That's not possible." "She used your identity," the agent continued. 6 credit lines. Maxed $120,000. Additional fraud using neighbors' social security numbers. The room seemed to collapse inward. "Your clearance is suspended," Alonzo said quietly. "Effective immediately." Jesse's voice broke. "I didn't know." "Ignorance doesn't negate vulnerability," Alonzo replied. Jesse turned to the agents. "Am I under arrest?" "Not yet," one said, "but you're involved now." Act 3. The Fallout and the Desert. The next year hollowed him out. Valerie was convicted and sentenced. The divorce followed swiftly, but her removal didn't erase the damage. Jesse's credit imploded. Debt collectors circled endlessly. His clearance gone, he was reassigned to a windowless office, cataloging training rosters. Once respected, now avoided. He became a quiet warning whispered across the garrison. But he didn't collapse. Captain Obembe forced him into routine. Early mornings, discipline, structure. "Control what you can," he repeated. The chaplain offered something harder: perspective. "You're not being punished," he told Jesse. "You're being evaluated. Fix the vulnerabilities." That became the mission. Jesse attacked his debt with relentless precision. He worked with financial counselors, legal aid, and investigators. He handed over everything: devices, accounts, history, cooperating fully. Piece by piece, he rebuilt. Security specialists helped him lock down his digital life. Physical security teams brought him into projects, giving him purpose. It was slow, it was humiliating, but it worked. Act 4. The Climb Back. 3 years later, Jesse sat across from Alonzo again. Older, sharper, hardened. A dossier rested on the desk. "Your appeal's been reviewed," Alonzo said. Jesse didn't breathe. "Clearance reinstated." Silence. Then relief hit like a collapse. "You earned it," Alonzo said. "But now we need something from you." Act 5. The Object Lesson. The Patch Barracks Theater was packed. Jesse stood at the podium, scanning the crowd. "3 years ago, I lost everything," he began, "because I trusted the wrong things and ignored the right warnings." He spoke plainly. No embellishment, no excuses. "I saw red flags. I chose comfort over scrutiny." He paused. "Security failures don't start with espionage. They start with denial." He explained how one unreported anomaly, a fake inheritance, could have exposed everything early. Self-reporting isn't betrayal, it's protection. The room held still. If something feels wrong, it probably is, and if you ignore it, it becomes your problem. When he finished, the applause wasn't polite. It was earned. Act 6. The Cliffhanger. That evening, Jesse sat in a beer garden with friends, finally allowing himself to relax. For the first time in years, he felt whole. Then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He stepped away and answered. "Jesse." The voice was calm, controlled. "You gave quite the speech today." Jesse froze. Who is this? A soft chuckle. You think Valerie was the operation? Cold spread through his chest. You were the target, the voice continued. We couldn't reach you directly, so we built access through her. Jesse's pulse hammered. She's in prison, he said. Yes, the voice replied, but not everything she brought into your life was discovered. Silence stretched. The grandfather clock, the voice said softly. In your apartment. Jesse's breath caught. We've been listening for 3 years. The world tilted. Check the pendulum housing, the voice whispered, and don't call anyone. The line went dead. Jesse stood motionless, the noise of the beer garden distant and warped. He had rebuilt everything, and it had never stopped. Epilogue: The Eternal Vigilance. This was a hard episode to share, but Jesse Vance's story offers 2 truths. First, recovery is possible. Through discipline, transparency, and relentless effort, even catastrophic damage can be repaired. Second, the threat never announces itself. It hides in relationships, in trust, in the quiet corners of ordinary life. Security isn't just policy, it's awareness. The moment something feels not your business, it already is. Jesse fought to reclaim his life, but as he stood alone in the Stuttgart night, one truth settled in with chilling clarity. He had never actually escaped the battlefield. Thank you for sticking around as we continue testing the boundaries of an extended storyboard. Think of it as security training with a plot twist and a fresh way to both educate our team and connect with our military community. Subscribe to our YouTube Secure Narratives channel. Hit us with a like and watch for our new updates. Also, if you have other suggestions or ideas, or are interested in a personalized name drop, or your work center's inclusion to our tales, don't hold back. Send a quick note to share your thoughts. We're all ears and ready to make things even better. So, keep those comments coming. Until next Monday, stay aware, stay connected, and stay engaged.